Try not to hit anything. Pretty thick fog this morning. That's pretty good, man. That's taking the vehicle off to the edge to give way, slowing down, just about exactly how I would have done it. And off we go. See what it takes us up to here. This is a 70-mile-an-hour speed limit. Directed it to the right lane. One of the things about this self-drive, full self-drive, is when it's a 2-lane road on a non-separated median, you get it tends to stay in the left lane for some reason. I don't know if algorithmically it's thinking it's safer to be in the left lane away from the edge, but I like to lean away from the opposite oncoming traffic if possible, and it tends to ride the left lane sometimes, at least on this stretch of road here. This is Highway 87 out southeast San Antonio. So I haven't touched the vehicle since leaving my driveway. It's dark, it's wet, it's foggy. We got probably half-mile viz right now, half-mile visibility. Never quite got to 70 miles an hour, 68, that's fine. I'll take that for a computer running in the dark in the fog. There's 70. Automatic windshield wiper is operating, and it tends to operate when it doesn't need to. Something about the sensing for the windshield wiper has always kind of bugged me. It seems to turn on randomly for a couple of wipes sometimes. It doesn't make sense. But it's turning on appropriately right now, periodically. Looks like there's a little bit of maybe some light rain going on at the same time here, along with the fog and drizzle. lights come down, this doesn't recognize I'm going 72 and a 55. Following traffic is one thing, but this is something that it's not 100% on. It will speed. You've really got to watch out for the speeding. Interesting thought. How is law enforcement going to interact with that fact if it becomes actual unsupervised full self-driving and you're a passenger in a car that has a steering wheel and pedals? Like if I were to Uber this truck out, once unsupervised comes available and it's speeding, what are the implications of that? That's an interesting thought. This is going to be an interesting one. It tends to need lots of room on the approach. Let's see if it goes. It's gonna go. So it's kind of being slow right now, which is gonna make this dude behind me slow down. I'd say moderate acceleration. If it was me driving, I would have accelerated faster. This is where I don't like this on a single opposing lane. It's a 65 mile an hour speed limit. Yellow dashed line in the middle. It tends to lean left on this stretch of road, which I really don't like because there's much higher safety problem leaning left on this stretch versus leaning right towards the white line. So I tend to push it a little bit. You can get a couple feet left or right out of it by putting pressure on the steering wheel without breaking the auto drive or the full self-driving. We got a nice tailgater here, just a couple feet behind me. They're in a hurry. They must have to poop. So far, physical input from me to lean away from oncoming at the double yellow and yellow striped divider. That's it. Smooth turns, smooth accelerations, all kinds of stuff that feels pretty much how I would drive, except for less acceleration. Let's see if it leans right a little bit here. We're kind of leaning to the yellow as the oncoming traffic shows up. No, we're still pretty biased towards the center. I'm going to push it over a little bit. I got a couple feet out of it to get away from oncoming. Tough thing to solve is these construction zone speed limit changes. Got a posted 55 in this construction zone. Computer's still seeing 65. there will be an issue when it's time to go on base. The problem with the navigation is it won't recognize a gated entry, an alternate entry for the Air Force Base. I've driven through it daily. It doesn't update as a viable route, even though I've done it dozens of times. The vehicle doesn't update its navigation, and I'm guessing there's probably a way for me to get in there into the menus and set that route as a primary and allow the vehicle to navigate that way. There's your tailgater and a big rush. So the driver style is set to standard right now. You can see underneath the miles per hour. May accelerate different in the hurry mode, I'm not sure. So just for the test today, I'm gonna let it take me to the main gate instead of doing the south gate. Let's see if it's gonna let this bus in. It was kind of creeping up on the bus, so I took over. Saw that coming. I guess the truck didn't want to abide that blinker. We're back at self-driving. Made me a little nervous there. I added a little bit of braking. Wet roads, heavy truck. Probably didn't need to do anything, would have been well clear, but still made me nervous. this speed and distance seems like the assumption being made by the truck is people ahead of you aren't going to crash, because I don't think we'd be able to stop in time for that, and that there's decent braking action on this road. So a little bit of a feeling from me of elevated risk for that moment. I like to follow a little further behind when I'm driving for options. I wonder how much this algorithm is, or this AI, the driving computer, is accepting a level of risk. I wonder if it's a threshold that's set by the makers of the algorithm, or if it's something that has kind of become intuitive, or what is the direction for the ultimate goal that's set into the machine learning that allows it to take certain risks or not. Is there a threshold? Is it, you look at data from human drivers, and I think Elon Musk has a stated goal of being safer than human drivers. So looking at the safety threshold of humans and going, hey, we're going to assume that we're going just a little bit safer than that for our assumptions. Who knows? Another interesting thought. When I first tried to use self-driving, it was a few iterations ago, and man, I was nervous. It was janky, it was clunky. I've gotten used to it, is one thing, and also it's gotten better. So my level of anxiety and not alertness, I'm always paying attention to this thing. But the number of times where I'm like, whoa, is down to very, very little. So just in a short amount of time, this thing's improving vastly. So making good progress. So far, so good. I like it. I don't think I'm gonna fly this morning. Looks like the weather is gonna keep us on the ground. We'll go check it out though. No green light chime when it's on full self-drive. It will chime when it's not gonna move on its own. It's giving you a heads up. Hey, lights turn green. Pay attention, dummy. You can turn that off. But if it is on and you're in a full self-drive mode, then it will not chime. That previous light would have been where I turn off to do the south gate approach to Randolph. That's what I do every morning. I'm letting the full self-driving take me end to end. And I wish it would recognize that south gate, because I like to go that way. So far, not too crazy on this trip. Only 2 crazy tailgaters. Only one for me, one that I observed on somebody else. Seems to me I'd have a blinker on and start moving to the other lane, or a half mile from the turn that it wants to make. it's not really aligning for the lane change. There's a blinker. I wouldn't have taken this road, but it's just as good. Gonna hit a median here. Yep, bump. It's kind of a hidden median. Real tough to see at night. It's not a full curb though, so it was no big deal. On a yield, and good to go. Pressed on, no traffic. Computer saw it. So as I go through the gate, I'll have to disengage autopilot and show my ID. So that doesn't count as a disengagement. Another interesting thought there is going through the gate with a fully autonomous car. There's probably going to be a restriction going on to military bases with a no controls having vehicle, because it's going to need to stop and be directed to go by a human. Delay on the lane change there, not sure why. Reveille going off.
Morning, sir. How you doing today?
Pretty good.
All right, you're good to go. Enjoy your day.
Thank you. Just the shortest of termination of the auto drive. And we're back at it.